Hello, Saskatchewan. If you are curious about the licensing process for real estate, then we're here to walk you through that.
Finally, let's talk about the exams, because I'm sure you have a lot of questions about the actual exam. And you better watch the first video, right? If you haven't watched it, start with that one first. Us talking about different phases, right? Because you need to understand phase 1 and phase 2. Because otherwise you're going to be lost in this video.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put myself in your shoes again. I'll be a student and I will be asking Melanie questions about the exams, right? So let's say I finish my phase 1, right? I studied my 21 chapters and I feel like I'm ready for the exam. So do I have to do anything before I book my exam?
Yes, you have to have submitted all of your assignments for your course.
Okay.
They have to be marked complete by UBC. Again, they're not graded, but as soon as you submit them, they just have to be kind of accepted and marked complete. And then the other requirement is you need to have met your English language proficiency requirement.
So make sure that you send those documents, your high school diplomas or whatever you have in there.
Right away.
That it says, and as long as it says satisfied, then you're good, right?
Yeah.
So that means you can book your exam.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to book my exam. What are the locations do I pick from?
So the locations that you can pick from are Regina, Saskatoon, and Melfort. So larger cities.
Okay, now what if I live on a farm in the middle of nowhere?
So there is an option to book a special examination, but the requirement for the special examination is you need to be more than 100 kilometers away from those cities.
Location. So that means I can be in different province even to write an exam.
Yeah, but you can only be in Canada.
No Mexico?
No Mexico vacation exams.
Come on.
No.
Okay, so locations are good. So if it's a physical location, that means it has to be, it cannot be a computerized exam.
No, it's an in-person, so you can't be taking it at home in your pajamas. You register for it online through your portal, and that's where you get to choose your date and location. But it is an in-person exam. You have to go there to write it. So it is what we call a paper exam. It's a paper examination package with all of your questions there. You can write all over that examination paper, and then you fill out the old-fashioned, old-school Scantron, bubbles with your pencil that they use to grade your score.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I know it's going to be a paper exam. I log into my computer, I satisfy my English, I satisfy my assignments, right? And now I can see different, the exam dates.
Yeah.
Like, how often do they have those paper exams?
So there's about 8 per year, and they're about 6 weeks apart. So usually there isn't one in January. Sometimes you can get one right at the end of January, but usually they start in February, and then they don't have any in December, right? Because people want to go to Mexico in December. So, late January, but February, and then in March, April,
Makes sense,
June, July, August, September, October, November.
Okay, so that sounds good. Okay, so I log in and I can see there's a few dates available in there. How long do I have to wait before I book that exam?
So you have to give UBC 30 days advance notice. So if there was an exam scheduled on March 1st in Saskatoon, for instance, that you wanted to go to, you would need to give basically 1 month notice prior to that. So you'd have to book that by February 1st.
And if I want to cancel?
If you want to cancel, that's fine. A no-show doesn't count as a written, right? They don't take away one of your attempts, but you will lose the ability to take the exam for free because your first booking is for free.
That was my next question, right?
Yes.
So the first exam is free.
It's free.
Right? If you decided not to go, right?
Yep.
And if you don't give them a sufficient notice to cancel it, right? Then you have to start paying for your exams.
Yeah.
So how much do we pay here?
$250 for
any
second
additional
booking and onward.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're charging you for the exams.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And if it's a special occasion, you also pay an extra.
$200 for the special location, because they need to bring people in to watch you, and it's just you usually, or maybe a small group of people.
Okay. Let's say I go for the exam. Okay, I wrote my exam. How long do I have to wait before I get my results?
So typically it's about 2 weeks, but it could take up to 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It just depends.
How many people went for the exam, right? And
Yeah.
it's all up to UBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll get, let's say I got my results, I opened it up and I want to be happy, but I am not happy.
Uh-oh.
Because I don't know if we talked about, but what's the passing score?
70% is
Okay,
the
so
passing
70,
score.
and I'm looking and I got 69.
Oh,
It's
man.
the worst score to get out of all of
is.
them, honestly.
It is.
It's better to get like 40 than 69.
It is.
Okay, so let's say I get my 69, I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do now?
You need to book your next exam right away. Like we said, they're about 6 weeks apart, and you've got to give 30 days advance notice. So if you don't want to wait 3 months or 4 months for the next exam, you need to get on and book immediately,
As soon as possible. You want to make sure that you don't forget all the information that you know now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You want to brush up on all the subjects.
Right,
that-
69, you were so close. You need to do more studying, right? Even if you got a 45, you still know some things. You need to do more studying, but you don't want to stretch it out over a really long period of time.
Because remember, they also gave you only 2 years for your phase 1 and phase 2,
Yeah.
and it's not enough. Like I mean, it's a lot of times, and it's if you know how to study properly. I
Yeah.
mean, if you follow the proper structure,
Yeah.
right, like like what we usually
And
offer
you
to our
don't
students.
procrastinate and- yeah.
yeah. If you can organize yourself, then you're going to be completely fine. It's a lot of times, but that's something to keep in mind
Yes.
too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the timing in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you fail, you want to re-register as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
It's usually three days before the deadline, kind of like it's
Yeah.
it's very
It's not a
close.
lot of time in there. Otherwise, you're waiting an extra 6 weeks. And so
Yeah.
then that's going to be an exam a couple months down the road.
So now let's talk about, let's say I went for the first exam. Let's say I failed the exam. I went for my second exam. I failed the second exam. How many attempts do they have
You get 3 attempts per registration.
per registration?
Per registration. So when you register for your phase 1 course, for that registration, you get 3 attempts. If you fail all 3 times, guess what you need to do? Re-register for that
Re-register.
phase 1 course, and then you get 3 more attempts with that registration.
I mean, pay the UBC money again, start everything from
the
scratch again,
assignments,
do the
yeah.
assignments, do the whole thing
and
from the beginning
possibly
again.
have to meet your ELPR too, depending on what kind of a timeline
When you've
you
done,
had.
yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of what you're dealing with, right? So 3 attempts, that's your max.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about each phase exam, because per each phase there's a different number of questions per exam.
Right.
Right. So let's talk about the phase 1 exam. So again, I'm doing my first phase 1 exam. I'm super pumped. I booked it, and now I'm not really sure what to expect. How many questions am I expecting? And how much time are they planning to give me?
Okay, so for the phase 1 exam, you get 100 multiple choice questions, and they give you 3 hours to complete that exam
With the 70% pass.
with the 70% pass rate. And a lot of people say, well, that doesn't really sound like a lot of time. If you know your stuff, if you've organized yourself and you've studied the material and you know your things, 3 hours is a really good amount of time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say we passed the phase 1. Now I'm choosing my phase 2. So if I'm doing my real estate, right? I'm planning to be on the real estate path. I'm going for the phase
Residential
one, right? The A, right? The phase A. Okay. So for phase 2, what's my exam looks like? It doesn't matter if it's a property management or the real estate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So property management and real estate. The phase 2 exam is 60 multiple choice questions, but you only get 2 hours for that exam.
Just remember you have way less chapters, right? Because in the first exam, on the phase 1, you have 21 chapters to cover. So that's why you need 3 hours and 100 questions.
Yes.
Sounds pretty good. For the second phase, you only have 9 to 7 chapters, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that many chapters in there. So they give you 2 hours with 60 questions only.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why some students find the shorter exams a little bit tougher, because they can put more questions per chapter. And if you're kind of weak in a certain area, then it can affect you more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't talked about the documents. What do I have to, when I show up for the exams, what do I bring with me?
Okay, so there are 3 things that you absolutely must bring with you. The first is a piece of valid current government ID.
Okay, not expired one.
Not expired one. It can't be expired for even 5 minutes. It has to be valid and current. So that can be your driver's license, your passport, but it has to be an official government
An official
ID.
one. So it can't be a Costco card, it can't be anything else, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Has to be an official government ID.
Yes.
And your name, that's a crucial one. Your name on your ID has to match the name on your UBC registration.
Right.
So when you register for your course with UBC, make sure that you use the same name as it shows up on your ID.
Right.
Right? If you have a different last name or whatever, you're gonna have issues, right? So yeah, that's one of the things you watch
Right.
for. Okay, so ID, what's the next
So
thing?
ID, the next thing is the examination admission ticket that you're going to print once you've booked your exam. There's going to be an area that you can go to print that out. Now, EAT is what we call it for short. That will give you some basic information on it. It'll have your name and your student ID, and then it'll have an area there that you can attach another picture to. And that's the third item that you need to bring with you is a passport photo. So not your passport.
It's a photograph.
It's a photo. You're not going to tape your passport onto the EAT. You're going to tape a passport photo onto the EAT. And the reason why they do that is because they compare that passport photo to your government ID to make sure that you're you.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it has to be done within the 12 months, which gives you a lot of time to
Lots
change.
of time. Lots of time.
But yeah, make sure that you go to a London Drugs Shoppers, right? And just take the actual
passport photo.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the 3 items that they have to bring with
Those
them.
are the 3 items.
Calculator, because you will have some basic math in there. Right?
Yes.
You won't be able to use your iPhone in there.
No. Nope.
Just regular calculator if you cannot do regular math in your head, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing that you should bring with you. And
Yeah.
that's it.
And that's it. You'll be provided with pencils and paper and all of that kind of stuff. So
Okay. And I just want to tell you guys, if you, let's say you go for the exam and you're stressing out and everything is not working out that specific date, you can't find the parking, whatever, like, can you as a student, I'll ask Melanie, can I as a student bail on my exam and says, you know what, not today?
yes,
Can I?
you can 100% bail on your exam and say, not today.
And what would happen to my registration and the whole thing?
So if you've paid any fees, right, if this is your second booking or later, then you lose those fees because you're canceling with no notice.
Okay.
If you've only done one registration and it was your freebie exam, then you lose that freebie exam, and any other booking that you make after that, then you're going to be paying the $250. But that is the only thing you lose.
So it's so much better to lose that $250 or the free exam.
Right.
It's not a fail. And that's the point. So
Yeah.
if you don't show up on the exam,
It doesn't count towards those 3 attempts, and you still have those 3 attempts. And you haven't forced yourself to go to an exam that you're not ready for and potentially fail it, and then it's a blow to your confidence.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
So yes, you can always skip on the exam, right?
Yes.
And then say maybe next day.
Yeah.
But that's it, I think, for the exam information.
Yeah.
Right? Hopefully if you have more questions, you can always ask us more. But otherwise, we'll see you in the next video.